Hi there, I'm Leaf Sipe, and I'm here to discuss the outline for my final paper in SOS 310 Equity, Justice, and Sustainability. For my final paper, I will be researching the injustice caused by gerrymandering in the current United States political system. My current working thesis for my paper is that gerrymandering has disrupted some of the progress that's been made by minority communities around environmental justice in the United States. I tend to think of gerrymandering as legal, unfortunately, a legal political act that um, deliberately tries to redistrict or redraw voting lines that in a way that disadvantages a certain population of the community. In this case, in the United States, it disadvantages minorities. Now, I recognize that both political parties, both Republicans and Democrats, have had a hand in gerrymandering over the years. But it's really been in the last decade or so that gerrymandering has become much more effective due to computer programs and statistics that can make it very targeted and very accurate. In recent years, Republican legislators have owned a majority at many levels of government, whether that's Congress or at the state level, and they've been able to draw districts that significantly affect the odds of a Democratic or independent candidate from winning election in some of these districts that have been heavily manipulated by gerrymandering. This is very consequential because many minorities, especially Black Americans, tend to vote Democratic. And as a result of gerrymandering, many minority communities no longer have an equal vote, especially when you compare them to more affluent white districts that may be in the same county or state. As we work to solve complex sustainability problems, all stakeholders must have equal opportunity to participate in the process of designing and implementing solutions. Gerrymandering creates an unjust distribution of power when it disadvantages minorities who are more likely to be affected by sustainability challenges than other more affluent white Americans. Gerrymandering is modern day legal voter suppression. But just because it's legal doesn't mean it's just. In my final paper, I will draw a link between gerrymandering practices and environmental justice, and more broadly to sustainability. I will draw on academic research as well as theoretical writings to support my thesis. And at the end of this video, you'll find a list of my references. In addition to my academic resources, I'll also rely heavily on Walker's work about making justice claims and demonstrate that gerrymandering is unjust in terms of distributive justice, recognition justice, and procedural justice. I was drawn to the topic of gerrymandering after reading King's letter from Birmingham jail and after watching the TED Talk from Majora Carter. I realized that many of the voter suppression tactics that King fought against have simply morphed into a legal form in gerrymandering in today's society. I also realized that that minority communities do not have a equal seat at the table when you compare them to white Americans, and I realized that gerrymandering is wholly unjust, and that something must be done about it to ensure that all stakeholders are present as we tackle sustainability challenges like climate change and sustainable urban development.